So all you will need are your gliders today, and then hand weights if you are wanting them. If you know with getting down deep with the gliders that you need something to hold on to, you could have a long pole beside you too for just a little bit of balance work, especially for backs and stuff, right? But we're going to start with a little free flow without the gliders. So just find yourself on your mat, give a little rocking back and forth, think of zippering up the abs and relaxing the shoulders, and just find that foundation. So we're going to releve up. And then just draw your toes up when you lean back. So you're kind of getting both. Doesn't have to be a high releve. And then think of the gentle zipper. Let's just breathe it up. Take an inhale, lift the heart. Hands down, center heart, and then roll it down with your hands on your quads initially, just to see how the back feels. If it feels okay, you can let those hands dangle. And then bend a little deeper. The knees will go forward over the toes slightly. And then start to press up again. Inhale as you come up. Lift that heart, stretch it. Exhale, and this time we can go a little lower if you're able to. So again, I'm putting my hands on my quads, tailbone is heavy, knees go forward, and then I slowly come up. And then on this one, so we can get a little wider, find a lateral rotation, maybe even widen out the hips, and then we can get lower. And then roll it down, hands might go to the floor. Get a little spin going here from left to right. If that's a little tight, first thing for the hips, come up to here and spin left and right. Inhale, exhale, and then let everything dangle and just slowly roll it up. Big inhales, you lift the heart, open it up. Hands down, center heart. Bring your feet back into parallel sits. Reach the arms forward, spread out your fingers. Take a peek over one direction, open the heart. And then a really big rounded heart hug. So tuck your tailbone under, round your spine, pull forward. And then go ahead the other direction, lift the heart. We're getting bigger and bigger as we go. Opposite arm on top, pull your shoulder blades forward, round and hollow the abdomen, bend it down. And on this one, we're just going to stretch it forward, lift that heart. Bring the arms all the way up, float them down. Find yourself in a powerful squat position, neutral spine. So we're going to squat down and then go angry cat. Inhale, squat. Exhale, curl. So we're just moving through that spine, but we're supporting it with our hands on our quads. So you're not looking at going past neutral on the squat. So it's not right to the floor. Hold it here. Shoulders shift down. Lift your heels. Lower your heels. Just finding that sense of balance here. Now sneak the hands off. Let them drift to the side. Working for you. Counterbalance. The arms are reaching out through by the ears. Keep your shoulders down. Now go ahead and leave the heels slightly lifted. Hold for 4, 3, 2, as you press your arms behind you, slowly stand to tall, still in the balance off the heels, and then lower that down, give a little rocking. Sneak to the back of your mat. We'll just do a little bit of flow to warm it up without the gliders. Reach it strong, come around the corner, find your hands down on the floor, and then walk it out to 4, 3, knees go down on 2 and 1. Uncurl the toes, and let's do cat-cow to a little bit of stretch through the thigh. Round the spine on the exhale. Inhale, sit back. Kind of round out, reach those hands forward. Feel the lat stretch. Come back up into your rounded position. Then push out through the tailbone, lengthen, lift the heart, shoulders draw down. Big breath. Again, exhale, round up. Sit back. Reach those fingers, feel those lats and shoulders, get a little stretch, a little no on the neckline. Come back up rounded, and then go through your neutral into your cow, and then find your neutral again. Curl your toes under, and let's just do a couple sit backs into the toes. So look through your feet, or your legs, should I say, and kind of sit back on your heels, stretch out your toes, and then come out of it. Stretch out your toes, and come out of it. Now leave yourself back there. Fingertip up and put a little more pressure into the toes. On this one, go ahead and reach your arms actively down and away. If you're able to interlace, reach down and away, go ahead. Give a little lift of the heart. Nice big breath here. Bring it all the way forward. Gently let those arms come out. We're just holding brief. Bring yourself back into your 4-point stance. So in our 4 points, we're going to do a couple short planks. Take an inhale, exhale, lift just an inch, hold nice and strong for 4, 3, 2, and lower it down. Take an inhale, exhale, lift again. Let's go short plank 2. So keeping your shins parallel to the floor, lift one leg up and bring it down, and then lift the other leg up and bring it down. So tendency is to lift the hips higher. If you need to, go ahead. Try to keep your shins parallel to the floor. Go one more time. And then knees go down, uncurl the toes, paddle out your toes a little bit. And then walk your knees a little farther back than what feels natural. So I'm starting to go forward and backwards. I'm going to open up my hips the opposite direction. So let it drop down. Your belly goes down just a little bit to start with. And then press back. And then bring it down. Maybe it can go a little farther. And bring it back. Do have a gentle pull up and in of the abdominals, but we are looking for some movement in that spine. And then let your belly go down one more time. And then press back. And then bring yourself back into your 4-point stance. So from here, let's get some sternum drops. We've warmed up those shoulders. So without moving the spine per se, you're just dropping through your shoulder blades and pressing away. If this is getting hard on the wrists, come into a seated position. And just get your scapula moving this way without weighting your shoulders, right? So I can do the same thing just in seated. I don't have to be on my wrists. Now press away, stay away, curl those toes. And we're going to lift up and find our first little down dog or elephant. So again, I like to grab my mat so I don't slip. I'm going to start a little prancing through my heels. Shoulders down and away. If you need to come right up and do this against the wall, take the pressure off the arms, you can. And then go ahead and walk your hands forward and you're in a full plank with a slightly supported spine. Let's go into our pouncing cat. For pouncing cat, if you need the knees down, it looks like this. Right? If I'm okay, I am up. And just breathe naturally. There's no real right or wrong where the breath is occurring. Just don't hold your breath. So shoulders, hips, ankles, wrists, everything's getting warmed up here. Core is supporting you. One more. And then lower the knees. We're going to come back to that. Uncurl your toes and body wave right down to the floor. So find yourself into that floppy push-up. So a small lateral rotation. Hands are drawn back to they're about equal to your shoulders. And without connecting the abs, just float up a little bit. So let your booty go. Let your lower back go. Give a little no on the neckline. Kind of see where's that back today in extension. Bring it down if that's working for you. If you bring your hands farther back, press up. The articulation in the spine is going to go lower into the back. And that's kind of where we're wanting it to go, right? We're wanting to get that lumbar spine, getting some articulation. One more time, lengthen it up. Again, not engaged, finding the stretch. Nice big breath. And then bring it all the way down. So let's wake up those back extensors. Find yourself in Sphinx. So my legs are parallel, open as comfortable. My elbows are right underneath my shoulders. Arms are making 11s. Instead of sinking here, I'm going to press away with power and then pull up my abs. So if you're relaxing down into arch, lift up the abdominals. If the neck is not bothered by it, look straight ahead. Now, small retraction of those shoulders, and let's just breathe here for a set of 5. Hard place to find a really strong breath when you're holding your abs in, but go ahead and try and keep it connected. It's not a floppy push-up. It's a nice connection. A nice wake up of our back extensors so that when we pick up our weights for the legs, the back is ready to go. One more big breath. On this exhale, turn your elbows to the outside so you can float that down. Bring your hands in closer. Bring your legs in closer. Tuck your tailbone and press up like you're in a push-up. Beautiful. Hinge it back. Keep your hands nice and strong and bring it right up into your down dog again. Get that little prancing one more time. Push from one leg to the other. And we're going to get those legs a little bit warmer here in our single leg plank. So you can go from the knees if you want. Pull right forward over the wrists. And I want you to drive your left leg forward and then kick it back. Inhale in, exhale out. Take your time here. There's lots getting warmed up. There's lots moving here. If you need to go down to the knee, go ahead. Go 2 more. And go 1. Now keep that leg reaching away. Press into the hip. drop down into your shoulders. If this is tight, lift the heel, bend the knee a bit. And then rotate your leg that's in the air into arabesque. It opens out to the side. Bend into attitude. Feel that little stretch and that rotation through the spine or twisting. Then bring it all the way back to center. And we're just going to put that foot right down, rise up, bring our knees down briefly, and then just sit back to come off the wrists. Couple inhales, exhales as you do that. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So open up the hips this way, right? Because they were in flexion. We want to open up those hips a little bit, give them a little wiggle, side to side, and then hinge at your hips. Down go those hands again, curl the toes. What feels too far forward with the hands, lift up, find your little down dog or elephant, prance a bit. Now we're just going into the opposite leg. So this time my left leg stays, my right leg goes up, and then I drive it forward. Again, you can be on your knees. That will decrease the weight that's going into your shoulders and into your torso. Exhale, inhale. Let's go 3 more. And 2. Now leave the leg out there stretching again, really tight, lift the heel, bend the knee. Otherwise, drop down into those shoulders, point the ankle, turn it into arabesque, feel that little stretch happen, and then change that into attitude. So you're getting that rotation in the spine or twisting. Bring it all the way back to center, bring that foot down, and walk your hands into your feet. In 4, 3, all the way in on 2 and 1, let your head fully dangle. And then bend the knees, hands on the quads or the shins, slowly roll it up vertebrae by vertebrae. Roll those shoulders, give a little wiggle here. I'm going to fold my mat in half. We're going to get into some legs and arms here. If you don't need to fold your mat, just move off to one side or the other. I find to stay in the camera, it's just nice if I just move that. Gliders on each foot. Your ball of foot is going to be in the glider. Your heel is going to be on the ground. And have it more, if you've got really big gliders, more to the inside so you can stand in sits bones, right? And then weights are always optional. Weights are optional. So just with a little squat position hold, all I'm going to do is a little lateral raise. So I'm coming out to the side of my body. Let's get those shoulders a little warmer. The knees are bent. We are leaning forward just a little bit in the hips. Let's go 4 more. And 3, and 2, and 1. Now hold it here. Go ahead and take one leg off to the side. So press and pull in. Press and pull in. I've gone into a gentle lateral rotation on the leg I'm standing on, and now I'm going to start a row. Now my hand on my quad is going to help me with the weight of my torso so it doesn't just go into the hips and the legs. If you don't need that hand there, get rid of it. Makes it harder, right? Go 3 more. 2. Now stay out here, and we're going to lift and lower the leg. Go as deep as you can. Add your row. 5, 4, 3, 2. Nice. On 1, grab that glider, pull it all the way back in, give a few little wiggles. Let's go ahead, turn the other foot, slight lateral rotation. The knee goes over, right? So we've got that knee slightly going over the toe as we go into this position. That's fine. When you're ready, you add your row. Arm dangling harder. Arm on your quad gives you some assistance. The foot in the glider is very gentle. When I reach it out, it's the inside of my big toe that's sort of remaining on the glider. Keep your chest up, bend through the knee. Now this time stay out here just as low as you can and lift and lower. Lift and lower. For 5, 4, exhale 3, 2, and 1. Leave your foot on the glider, pull it all the way back in. Give a few little movements through your hips. And then on this one, we're just going to go straight back, right? So we're straight back. I'm going to add a little bicep curl to that. So I'm not going out at side angle today. I'm just going straight back. Watch here you don't sink into your greater trochanter when you push your leg back. 4 more. 3, go as deep as you want. 2, now stay here. Watch this knee is not collapsing in, and just pull your back leg in and out. Go as deep as you want. 5, 4, nice, 3, 2, and keep it in tight, right? So I'm nice and tight, but I'm still just gently on the foot on the glider, and I'm squatting into my opposite leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, power tall. Go again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, power tall. You've got one more. 5, 4, get your booty back. 3, 2, 1, power tall. Beautiful. Give that leg a little wiggle jiggle. Going to start with the mountain climber again, but this time the mountain climber is going to go with triceps. So I'm going to go out and in. So it's the same thing. I'm alternating to start with as I'm just pushing that leg behind. Let's go. 5, 4, shoulders open. 3, 2. Now keep your opposite leg back there. In and out. In and out. So it seems like the same arms, but instead of being here focusing on biceps, I'm focusing on triceps. Trying to keep my elbows high. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Keep that leg in front. So I'm working this leg now. This leg is just holding delicately. Press. 5, 4, 3, 2, power up, squeeze. So if I have this leg farther forward, it's going to assist me. If I have it slightly back, it's going to be harder, right? Pulse. 5, 4, weight bear in the front leg. 3, 2, 1, power up. One more time. 5, 4, hinge your booty back. 3, 2, 1, power up. Beautiful. Leave those gliders off to the side. Go ahead and take those weights, just place them off to the side. I'm going to no, I'm not going to uncurl my mat. I'm going to leave it there, but I'm going to start towards the back of my mat. Reach it up, come around the corner, find your hands on the floor, and then walk it out all the way. 5, 3, 2, and 1. I'm in full plank again. Going to get a little bit of pouncing cat one more time. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Hold here. Hold that nice strong plank for 5, 4, shoulders down. 3, 2, and then knees down, uncurl the toes. Come up into tall. Place one leg forward. One leg forward. Have at least one knee on the mat for the stretch here. We're going to pull into the hips and press away. So those hips are nice and warm. We're going to give them a little stretch here. I'm just hinging forward and backwards. And then going to stay in that forward. Place the hands, lift the heart. Feels okay. One arm and then the other. Still okay. You can go into that bind and then open that chest. You are trying to push the hip forward to get a hip flexor stretch, but with a small tuck, you're going to get that rec fem getting nicely stretched out as well. Release that out. Laterally rotate out your front leg and press your hand into that so it opens up. Now, if you can go all the way down, go ahead. I'm just going to the one hand. I'm still staying out of my hips a little bit. And I'm just going to side to side rock. If you're okay going right down to elbows, please do so. And then when it feels good, I'm going to go into that gecko where I push the hip out and I rotate towards the sky. If that's tight, come in and out of rotation. So I'm coming out and then going back in. And then when you can, give that a little hold. Both hands to the front, bring that leg all the way around and just sort of give that little booty wiggle. So I'm on 4-point stance and I'm just wiggling my tailbone left, right. Curl the toes underneath, lift, give a little down dog, prance that a little bit. And then we're just going to drive the opposite leg forward. So just bring that forward, bring the knee down, and we're just going to push back and forth into our hip when we're ready. All right, so if that down dog's feeling good and you need to stay there a little bit, go ahead. Otherwise, we're just pressing that leg forward, and then we're pushing into that hip again on this side. Gentle press, kind of listen to where the back's going to go. And they're going to stay forward. On this one, I don't want my knee way over the toe. I miss the bit of the stretch there. So I do want that foot farther forward so my knee is kind of in line with my heel. And then again, one arm the other, grab into bind. So I'm not opening up in bind with bringing up that leg this time. It's not happy on that side, but I'm going to do the chest stretch still. And then slowly come out, give a lateral rotation. Hand goes down or you go deeper and wiggle that from left to right. Get a little bit of movement in your spine. If this feels okay, hold it static and add the rotation. Again, a little tight, move in and out of the rotation versus hold. And as you move in and out, the synovial fluid in all those joints that you're kind of calling upon is going to warm up and move around. Like kind of like greasing a joint. And then go ahead and stay there where you feel comfortable. Nice strong breath. Inhale, exhale. Bring that hand back down, swing that leg around. And we're just going to press back into hip flexion and then come out a little bit. Into hip flexion and come out. One more time, a little hip flexion and come out. Stay in the out. Let's do a little thread the needle. Go ahead, take that arm, reach it across, and let's get a good rotation in there. Looking peekaboo to the sky. Anchor it, reach it. Couple good breaths. Bring that arm down, press away from it. Same thing on the other side. Thread your needle. And then open that up. Arm can reach if it feels okay. 2 more breaths. 1 more. Bring the hand down as you press out. Roll those shoulders. So go ahead and grab those gliders in nice and tight. So we're going to do a little bit of gliding through the chest line. Hands are on the gliders. I'm nice and tight in. I'm in a 4-point stance. And then I'm going to lean forward a little bit onto my wrists. So my head comes down, making a tripod, kind of waking up that tricep. Now, if this feels good and I can push out farther and do my tricep push-up a little longer, by all means, go ahead. So I've opened my hips a little bit more. That causes more of my core weight to go into my tricep muscle on the press. Let's go 3 more. 2 more. And 1. Pull it back. Lift out of that. Push the hips a little farther forward again to stretch out that front. Give a little wiggle side to side. If it feels good, hands on the waistline, pushing your hips forward a bit. If it feels better to go child's pose, by all means, go ahead. Now we're going to press the arms out farther and go into full push-up. So instead of being narrow, we're going to push out into wide. So we're going to push out to wide, give a push-up, and then pull it back in. Push out to wide and a push-up. Bring it back in. Now, as you push out, if you want to curl your toes, press out, and then right here, pop up. Give a full push-up. Knees come down as you pull back in. Go ahead. You'll go a little slower if you're doing the transition into full push-up, and that's okay. Glide it out, go open, push up, and pull back in. 2 more. Glide open, push up. Give me 1 more. Control that torso. Pull it back in. Again, your recovery, whatever feels good. Come up and wiggle. I'm just swaying from one knee to the other. Wiggling out the wrists. So now I'm going to go from narrow to wide. I'm going to keep it all on the knees, but you could pop up to full if you wanted to. So I'm going to go here, push out, do a narrow, go out farther, do a full. Pull in, do a narrow. Push out farther, do a full. Now, if I just wanted to make this transition very small, here's my change. I'm staying out the whole time. And I'm not moving my arms as far. So either of those options work. Pull your arms back in as close as you need to for your narrow tricep push-up. Narrow tricep push-up is harder than the pec one, right? Having said that, you're working triceps and pecs both times. We're just pushing towards one muscle more than the other. Last one. Pull it all the way back in. Release those shoulders out. Take those off to the side. Hands connect, lift into your little down dog. Walk your feet into your hands this time. If you want your weights, pull them back beside you. And then bend your knees and slowly come up. So in this up, I'm just going to kind of reset here a little bit. I'm going to do 1 stand up. I'm not doing any stand-up sit-downs. I'm going to go down right into my roll. So I'm slightly forward of my mat. I'm going into passive squat, and then I'm going to let that roll and find myself in seated. Beautiful. Remember, if you don't like that, just go ahead and just grab a seat. So if I'm having a hard time staying out of my hip flexors when I sit, I want to sit up on a pad, or I want to bend the knees, right? From here, let's just do a little bit of spine twist. So see your hands in peripheral vision. Inhale, rotate. Inhale, rotate a bit more. Don't let the hip go. Inhale, rotate more. Look to the backhand. Exhale, center. Inhale, rotate. Spine twist. Inhale, rotate. Inhale, rotate. Look to the backhand. Exhale, center. Inhale. 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 Exhale, center. One more. Inhale. 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 Exhale, center, release that down. So sitting tall, place one weight in front, either up, so you have to go over it, or if your hip flexors are tight, it's going to go low. Or you don't have to place anything if you don't want to. Try and think of sitting super tall in your spine. If that's not happening, you do need to sit up. Now, my hip flexors are a bit grippy, so I'm going to go ahead and sit up so it releases off my rec fem a little bit. Allows me to sit taller a little easier. So from here, I'm going to go up and over, trying to keep my legs in parallel. Up, over. To add a little intensity, you could grab the other weight and put it here, or sit it tall, but try and stay tall. So the tendency will be to roll off our sits bones as we do this. The idea is to stay tall. Up and over. Up and over. I'm alternating my sides. Up and over. Toes are facing the sky. I'm not in lateral. And lift and lower. Lift and lower. One more time. Lift and lower. And release. Roll those shoulders. Go ahead and just place those weights to either side up front. Scoot your bum off your pad if you were using it. And we're just going to put those gliders close to our bum at the end. We're not going into them right away. Go ahead and roll it down. Find your head on your pad. And let's do some toe taps here. So weights are your option. I'm going to find a slightly supported spine. Knee fold one leg, knee fold the other. My legs are slightly open at sits bones. Arms coming up is optional. I'm going to turn my palms to face my quads. And then I'm going to start my arm action. So as my arms go over the head, the tendency will be to arch the spine. Try and keep those ribs connected and just let those arms pull over and come back. If you're able to, let the back of your hand touch down with control. Now, once you have that arm action going, and as big as you want or as small as you want, you're going to start an alternating toe tap. Really be mindful to not lose the position of the lower back and supported spine and go into an arch every time the leg goes down. Now, if this is working for you, straighten the leg out. So that'll stretch the hip flexor, but then because we're lengthening it away, it's heavier. So it's a bit of a game. So decide whether that's working for you. If you want, you can go straight leg and go down in scissor and come up and scissor and come up. Let's go 4 more. Inhale down, exhale up, 3 more. 2 more. And 1. Bring the arms down, bring the legs down, let the hands relax, and just do that alternating windshield washer side to side. So get that nice rotation happening. I'm trying to internally rotate as I go one direction, trying to internally rotate that one knee and bring it right down for the stretch. If my booty lifts, that's okay. And then bring it up and then internally rotate the other knee as far as you can. So it's kind of a 90-90 in lying down position, in theory. Now let's go to double leg toe taps. If double leg's not going to work for you, go singles. Arms are going to change. I'm going to start pec. I'm going to start opening from the side and coming up. When I'm ready, I'm in supported spine, knee fold one, knee fold the other. And I'm going to go down with both legs at the same time as my arms open. 4, 3, watch the back. 2, 1, come up. 2, 3. Feeling good, I can send my legs out a little bit more. They're heavy. And in, 2, 3. Or I can go even lower, right? 4, 3, 2, 1, and in, 2, 3. 3 more of whatever you chose. 1, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3. 2 more, out, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3. Last one, guys. Out, 2, 3. Touch and in, 2, 3. Elbows down, feet down. Go ahead and find your gliders on your feet. So I'm only going to put it into my right leg to start with. My ball of foot is on. I'm going to internally rotate my hip, push it away, and then externally rotate my hip, drag it in. So my glider is just going to kind of sweep and move across the floor. You might have to have your whole foot on there so you don't lose your glider. But the idea here is internal, external rotation while you're pressing away and then pulling in. So you're really feeling that little rotation happening in the back, but you're also feeling great mobility in your hip. And then reverse. So when it's up here, I've got it laterally rotated, I push it away, and then I turn it in when it's extended and I drag it back. It'll feel different. If you're losing your glider, do it without the glider, right? Don't stress the glider. Doesn't have to be there. I've just dropped my glider. I was focusing too much on trying to keep my toes on the glider, and I don't want to cramp my toes. So go ahead and relax that leg. Let's do the other side. So I start with internal rotation. I push it out. I laterally rotate it out and I drag it in. So I'm on the ball of my foot internally rotating as I push out. I kind of go to my heel as I'm straight out, laterally rotating back in. Inhale, exhale. Just let that hip have mobility. Let the spine in the lower half rotate back and forth with it. And then when you're good, reverse it. So it goes out wide, it drags in. Rotates open, goes out wide, and drags in. One more time. Just get those hips moving. Hold it all the way in and bring those gliders back to the very end of your mat. So I'm going to move my booty so my tailbone's basically at the end of the mat. And then my heels are going on. My toes and my ankle will be in dorsiflexion. So I will have a lift here, which means my shins are going to say hello a bit. From here, I'm going to find supported spine. Weights are going to be optional. I'm not going to choose them yet. I'm going to lift up just a little bit, just a little lift. I'm going to lower out and pull in. So I'm not lifting and lowering. This is our hip rolls on the reformer, except for slightly different, obviously, because we don't have springs moving with us. So this is actually probably more intense than we usually do on the reformer, unless you decrease your weight load. Harder is the arms extended up. Now this time, press out, and as you pull in and lift the hips. So I'm going to press out, pull in, lift the hips. Lower the hips gently as you press out, pull in, lift the hips. Press out, pull in, lift the hips. Now reverse it. Stay lifted, push out, lower, pull in. Lift the hips, push out, they lower, pull in. Two more. Lift the hips, push out, they lower, pull in. One more time. When I say lower, they're flirting, right? Press out and pull in. Beautiful. Bring those hips down, take your feet off the gliders, give a little inside in and out movement on the hips. And then we're going to go single leg. So we're going to put one heel in and the other heel is free. I'm going to leave the free leg gently on the floor. I'm going to do it this way so you can see. I'll do both sides really quick. So the one foot is gently resting to the floor. The weight is on the one leg. The weight is on the one leg. So easier would be for me to keep the leg that's not in the glider gently on the floor as I lower and pull in. But what you want to remember is put most of the weight into the heel of the leg you're dragging. Now, if I can, I would lift off that leg. Press out, pull in. It's going to be harder. Press out, pull in. If you can get your hands up, go ahead. I'm just getting my upper arm up. Let's go 3 and 2 and 1 and release that down. Find your other glider. Again, the foot can stay down and you can just put extra pressure into the leg that's going in and out. Or you can lift that leg off and press and lift. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that leg down and peel your spine down. Knee fold one leg, knee fold the other, roll to come up. And we're just going to do a reset in tabletop, and then we'll get some hammy stretch, I promise. Fingers going towards bum or out to the side. Feet in tight, not on your gliders. I don't want you slipping. And then lift those hips. Take your shoulders. If they're rounding forward, try and open them. Vision to sky if doable. And then bring that down. 2 more. Exhale, press up. Big breath up here. And bring it down. And go 1 more. Press it up. Open the shoulders. Big breath. And down. And then we're going to go into that wild thing. So this hand that's facing the booty is now going to face away. And I don't want it right underneath me. I want to push it out a bit, but I don't want to jam into my elbow socket here. The other hand goes in center. I'm going to reach and then lift and then push my hips up. Maybe I get a little bit of an arch going. Yeah. And then bring it down. If my shoulders don't like this, I can do it on my elbows. Exhale, lift and press. Inhale, bring it down, face square to the front. And then lift, look down to the floor. And 1 more. Lift and press. And bring it all the way down, switch sides. Again, if this elbow, this side needs you to bring your shoulder down, go ahead, it still works. And then going to press and lift, find this side, take a moment, make sure you're in your right form. And then bring it down, my foot slipped there. And then go ahead and lift and hold. And bring it down, we've got 2 more. Exhale, lift and hold. And bring it down and give me 1 more. Lift and hold. Bring it all the way down. Reach that out. Beautiful. Give a little bum walk side to side. Inhale, exhale. And then when we're ready, grab behind the knees, roll it down. So we're going to go into some side lateral. If you don't need the headrest, go ahead and get rid of it. Come right over onto your side. So the glider here now is by your hand for when we do our side sit-ups. I'm not going to use it right away. If this hand, the neck doesn't like this, you can bring your hand here and put some pillows, right? From here, I'm going to either bend my knee to 90, anchor it, reach it parallel, touching down, reach it parallel, holding. So it's if I'm standing on my legs, then I'm going to lift and lower that top leg. So if I look down my body, my leg lift is coming straight out from my hip. I'm not piking at the hips. If I feel I want to be a bit more ambitious, I could take that weight and I could gently put it on the side of my hip. Imagine you're pulling your abs up and in off the floor from the waistline. Go 2 more and 1. Now give me some little circles. Let's go for 5 and 4. The forward is as big as the back. We're better at forward than we are back. Switch directions for 5. 4. Remember, at any time you can anchor that foot. 3, excuse me, 2. Now leave that leg reaching. Hover it higher, not super high, just kind of straight out from your hip. Bring the bottom leg up and in. Let's go for 4, finding the adductors. 3, 2, and 1. Now hold that leg out there. Take your top leg, laterally rotate it, and place it behind you. So I rolled back on my butt. It's going behind me. I'm going to place this weight onto my inner thigh. I am now going to support my neck and roll slightly back onto my booty. So I am slightly rolled back now, so my abs are in a small crunch. My top set of abdominals are a little tighter than my bottom set, right, for supported. And I'm going to lift and lower. Let's go for 4, 3, exhale 2, and 1. Now leave that leg reaching. Take your top leg, move it out a little bit. Pull your bottom leg in so your heel touches right by your ankle there. And then we're just going to open and close like a little clamshell here. I'm going to get rid of the weight on this because I want to bring it all the way up. What I'm trying to avoid doing is rolling back on my ass cheek. Let's go for 4. So hold your core in tight. 3, 2, and 1. You can add that weight back in if you want. I'm going to run up my shin, run down my shin, and kick it out. Run up, run down, kick out. So lengthen your shin away. Run up, run down, swing out. Let's go 3, and out, and 2, and out, and 1, and out, and then reach it long. Anchor your bottom foot, extend your top leg. From here, bottom hand comes underneath, and I'm going to go into single leg kick. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Once you've got this going, you can add that lateral flexion. As I kick back, I'm going to lift my rib cage off. Inhale, inhale, exhale. The tendency will be to lift off and pull forward and arch. Think of a string by your rib cage lifting you up to the sky. Inhale, inhale, exhale. 2 more. Give me 1 more. And then reach it long. Go ahead, tack that top hand, place it into your glider. I'm going to get rid of my weight because it's going to be in my way. If I know I'm staying with a bent knee, I'm going to bring my knees in. If I know I'm staying long, I'm going to reach my legs out to straight. So we're going up into the teaser. I'm going to do modified first. If you know the full one, go ahead. I'm going to scoop, closer rib hip check on this side. I roll, I find my long teaser, and then I bring my hand back down, I tilt my knees, and I lie long. Feeling okay? The feet and the legs lift as we come up, and maybe I hold here, maybe I go here, maybe I go here, right? Fully extended. Then the hand comes down, and I lengthen right back on to the edge of my mat. Exhale, the top rib hip comes in closer, then the bottom joins the party. We inhale, reach, and then we exhale, roll, and lengthen right out. So right here, don't stay in your pike, open it up. And then scoop and reach, squeeze those legs, inhale, find your glider, scoop and roll long, and we have one last one. Scoop the top set of abdominals, round, bring it up. We're gonna stay here, we're gonna stay here. Put your hand down, pull into your mermaid. Yeah, take a moment to wiggle. Just take that glider, toss it to the other side because you're going to use it on the other side. If you were using your hand weight, go ahead and place your hand weight to the other side as well. From here, we're going to rotate. Now, we've already done push-ups. We've already done the narrow grip push-ups. So I'm not looking for that here. So I'm going to keep both hands down, and I just want to find an extension as I come up. So I'm coming down on both hands. I'm reaching the leg up. And then right here, I'm going to go to my fingertips and lift my heart. I'm going to lengthen it down and bring it up. Now, if your back invites, you can keep that leg out there the whole time. My back's not going to like that, so I'm tucking it in between each one. One last one. Then take this leg that's way over there, pull it all the way across, and then try and get that booty down. So be gentle with this. What I find is I want the booty down more than I'm worried about my foot being down. I can't do both right now. So I'm quite open on this side. So I'm not feeling impingement. And then I'm just holding into that breath. So normally I can wrap right around. I can't, and that's okay. So I'm just holding it wider. So find where you're getting a nice stretch, but it's not feeling impinged or grippy. Then take that hand that's wrapped around, put it into the knee, kind of crossing it, and then rotate. Look to the back wall. Now right here, if it feels like you naturally want to flow into a double pigeon or drop that top knee down a little bit, go ahead. This is as far as mine's dropping down right now. But if you've got double pigeon, I want you to go into it. I can't go there. If you can go there, go ahead. Or if double pigeon doesn't work, but you could straighten out your base leg and then get deeper into the lateral rotators, go ahead. Inhale, exhale. Breathe as you go. Then we're doing that whole side lying sequence on the other side, right? Unpretzel yourself, and let's find ourselves nice and long on the other side. So you're right along the line. If your head is okay here, unsupported, go ahead. If that doesn't feel, or sorry, with your arm there, if that doesn't feel good, the arm is here, but we don't want the head doing this. This is nastiness. I want to pack that up. So from there, I'm bent, anchored, on the floor reaching or off the floor reaching. Weight is my option, glider is close. I'm going to lift and lower. Side leg lift series 1. Inhale, exhale. You are lying straight on that greater trochanter. So if your body is not liking that, put a little pad underneath your hip. Right? Sometimes we're just bony and we just feel it. Go ahead and leave the leg reaching out there. Remember, you can have your weight on top. Sorry guys, I forgot to mention that. Go to your circles, inhale, exhale. So on this side, I notice myself squirming around a little bit more. So I'm not going to change what I've chosen to do. I'm just going to slow it down so I can really focus on keeping my core connected. Go ahead and go the other way. Let's go 4 more. 3. Sometimes it doesn't mean you need to modify. You just need to slow down and focus. Last one. Keep the leg reaching straight out from the hip socket. Bring your bottom leg up and down. Up and down. So what will happen is we'll sickle the bottom ankle to feel we're coming up. Inner thigh comes up. The whole foot tries to touch. 3 more, 2, and 1, and then reach with both legs. Anchor your one leg forward. Your weight can go down here. I'm going to slide that head underneath, and I'm going to go inhale, inhale. As I reach away, I'll add that lift of the rib cage when I'm ready. So side lying kick series. And this is our 3rd level, our tier 3, as we lift and lower the rib cage. So you can just do this, just holding nice and long and straight. You don't have to do any lift. When that back is miffy, sometimes it's better just to work on stabilization versus the mobilization of the ribs or of the spine. Go one more time. And then lengthen it long. So if you know you're doing the modified teaser, knees are in tight, we're reaching, and then I'm just going to move that weight right out of the way. And then I'm going to roll through and hold. Hand goes on, roll through and come back. You know you're okay, straighten out those legs and they're slightly lifted. Top rib and hip come closer to have you able to roll off. And there's a small pike going on. Then I lengthen. Maybe my knees are bent and I reach. Maybe they're straight. Maybe my arms go up. Arms up is harder. And then all the way right back long onto the hip. Exhale, scoop. Roll it up. Inhale, keep. Exhale, find your glider and go down. So the glider is just a flirt so that you just have that arm smoothly coming up. If you can get away with not using the glider and coming down in your own body and then coming up without your hand there, and I've got to use that hand a little bit. It's just not happening for me right now. But if you can, go right ahead and remove that hand. One more time. Exhale. That hand does give us a little bit of an anchor point. Inhale here. We're going into our mermaid. Pull that open. Beautiful. Put both your gliders to the top side, just so they're out of your way. Tuck that hip in. Get a little stretch there, and then we're going to rotate. Both hands are staying down, and I'm just looking for that extension, because that's where we're going next. So I am lifting this hip so I can teeter-totter down. I'm not rounding to come down. I'm bending my elbows so I'm coming down in extension. If it feels good, you can keep that leg straight the whole time. Just listen to what your body will do. Most of the weight is into your back hand, the hand that's in line with your sits bones. Give me one more. Bring it all the way up. Tuck that hip in a little tighter. Settle into your booty a bit more, and let's go ahead and bring this leg all the way around for the stretch. So take your time settling into your hip here. Once you've got it and it's settled, you're going to hug that knee in. If you're feeling any impingement, you're going to push it away a little bit. I focus more on both my sits bones being down than my heel being down again, right? If you can get your heel and your sits bones down, that's fabulous. That's a very deep internal rotation and flexion of the hip. And if your hips invite that, do it. If your hips don't invite it, don't. Because that's a pinching sensation then that you're feeling, and we don't want that. So once you have this, grab a little closer, reach across and add your rotation. Couple inhales, exhales. Try and sit tall. One more breath. Come back to center. And again, we're just going to go into that double pigeon if you're able to. If that's a little tight, then go ahead and stretch out your bottom leg. So on this side, I can kind of get away with staying in that. So left and right can be very, very different. Don't push your side that's not working for you to meet the other side. Be mindful of it, right? Inhale, exhale, and then we are going to move ourselves into extension, guys. Slowly unpretzel yourself. Move those hips around, and let's go ahead and lie down onto our bellies. So my chest line is forward. So my chest is basically off. I'm not going to use my weights here, so I'm just going to move them. And I am going to use my gliders. So my legs are laterally rotated, open as comfortable. It's not swan yet, so it doesn't have to be massively open. I'm going to take that microphone off real quick here. And then all I'm going to do is some snow angels. So I've tucked my chin in, and I'm just reaching my arms down and bringing them back. So it's going above the head, opening to the sides, and then coming right back up. So I'm just sort of doing a breaststroke pattern here. I'm reaching. I'm not lifting and lowering yet. I'm just letting that glide. Now reverse it. Pull it back, circle it wide and around. Pull it back, circle it wide and around. Now keep your hands reaching above your head. If that's difficult, reach them beside your ears. And then pull your shoulders into your back pockets and hover an inch off the floor. So now I'm lifted. I'm not super high. I'm not swanning. I'm not putting a lot of pressure into my hands. And now I'm going to make circles again with those arms. Now, if this feels good, squeeze the glutes and extend the legs. So we're just making those little snow angels again, little breaststroke, and then reverse it, bring it straight out, circle it around, but we're hovering into our extensors. Now we're going to add it to full breaststroke. So let yourself come into swan position, give a good lateral rotation, lower your torso right down, including your feet. Take an inhale. Lift everything an inch off. Dive into the water. So everything's hovering an inch. Bring your hands down to your thighs. Lift, open, thumbs to shoulders. Exhale, dive. Inhale, pinkies to thighs. Hold your extension. Thumbs to shoulders. Dive. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Thumbs to shoulders. Now arms are heavy. If you don't need them, hands off the glider. Reach. Thumbs stay to shoulders. Now suddenly your rhomboids are working a bit harder. Dive. 3 more. Inhale, reach. Pinkies to thighs, thumbs to shoulders, and dive. 2 more. Reach it around, pinkies to thighs, hold, thumbs to shoulders, and dive. 1 last one. Bring it all the way around, pinkies to thighs, thumbs to shoulders, and release. Push back either into a wide stance or a narrow stance, child's pose. And release off the hips. Now, if you're wanting to not get that rounding sensation in the back, sit back into your hips, but stay tall in your torso. If you want the rounding, go ahead and go forward. If that's not where you want to go and you feel you want sort of a bit more beach pose, lift your heart and stay tall. Couple inhales, exhales there. Inhale, exhale, and whatever feels good for you. And then we are going to go into our full swan. Go ahead and gently pull yourself forward again. Lower yourself down. This one, we need a good lateral rotation. So my big toe is I'm not in the corners of my mat, but I'm looking down and making sure I'm fairly equal on both sides. My thumbs are by my shoulders are down and away. Push the marble with your nose, pull your abs in. Exhale, strong abdominals and lifts. It's not floppy. Inhale here. Exhale down. Now, if you want the gliders, it does make it harder because the shoulder pressure is more. So I could put my ring finger, baby finger into it, start to pull down, and then pull that underneath. Inhale, keep. Exhale, glide it out. So you don't have to choose the arms into the gliders. Shift the shoulders into your back pockets and lift. Inhale, keep. Exhale, glide it down. Let's do glider 1. Pull it in. As you come up, look off to one side. And then bring it long. Pull it in, look off to the other side. Bring it long, and then glider 2 if you want. We're going to lengthen up, bend one knee, take a peek, and bring it down. And then bend the other knee, take a peek, and bring it down. Beautiful, you guys. Pull yourself all the way back. Wide child's pose, whatever feels good for you. It's your recovery, you choose. Couple inhales, exhales, while I play around with my microphone. Now, we did a fair amount on the wrist, so come on up into kneeling. If this kneeling position doesn't feel good, come a little higher and stay here. You just have to use the side of your body for the wrist movements versus your thigh or the floor. So it sort of depends on where you can kneel. From here, I'm going to take my palms up and just place them on my thighs. If I'm able to go forward and place them down onto the floor, I'm not full weight bearing into them, right? My palms are facing up. So that's opposite side of the wrist. We don't want to be really jamming into that. We're not made to weight bear this way. Now switch it so your palm faces down, your thumbs are in, and from here, I'm going to come up a little bit, and I'm going to move side to side. So I have my hands out to the side, and I'm just rocking left and right here a little bit. The closer my hands are together, the more movement I can get there. Now I'm going to turn my fingers to face my torso, and I'm just going to sink back, feeling the stretch in the upper arm or the forearm. So I'm in neutral now, and I'm just kind of hinging my torso back. I've gone into pins and needles on my toes, and I'm just leaning back. So I'm waking up those toes still. I'm still looking for mobility there. Maybe I can stay back here into that forearm stretch, and then slowly let that come off. And let's go into the knuckles now. So I'm using my knuckles in different positions versus my palm, and I'm going into fingers open to start with. This is the movement that some of the movements that I had when I took my dislocation in my finger and then I broke my third metatarsal, is just getting movement back into the fingers. So I'm going to fold my joints in my fingers and press. I'm not putting a lot of pressure into my hands, right? And I'm just sort of folding them and opening them. My knuckles are down, and I'm just folding them in and out. Let's go 4 more. 3, 2, 1, and then bring your hands right together. Press them in and open them. So when I come in, I'm going fingertips and I'm squeezing them together, but I'm putting pressure, and then I'm expanding them open. Squeeze and expand open. Go 2 more, and you can kneel wherever you want. And go 1 more, and open, and then release out the fingers. So sometimes we forget about hands. We do feet lots, we forget about hands. Last little one we have with gliders, spent some time on our chest, pins and needles arrow pose. So if you need a band, you're going to hold it. Otherwise, palms of your thumbs together, reach that down the sacrum, take your shoulders, open them, and lift your heart. Knees and hips not liking this, come up or do it in tall stand. If you can, pull your arms up, away from your torso, lift your heart. 5 cycles of breath here. 4, 3, 2, last one. On the exhale, release. Woo. Hands down, lift, find your little down dog. Walk your hands to your feet. Find your little hammy stretch here, you guys. Nice big breath. Now, if ragdoll's in your practice unsupported, go ahead. It's not in mine, so I bend my knees. I get my back supported with my elbows on my quads. Then I can dangle my head. Unsupported forward flexion is about as hard as we can get on the spine. Throw rotation into that, and you're really pushing that spine. So if you've got some back giggles going on, support it. And then slowly peel it all the way up. Roll those shoulders, give a little no on the neckline, shake out those legs, and let's do our final breath, gang. Nice big inhale up to the top. Exhale, hands down, center heart. And we are done.